At the IST UV days, just a few months ago, I met Achim from MPrint, which is a Kurtz company, and he showed me a kind of a prototype of a tiny little 4-color printer, and I was already at that time amazed. But now, Achim, good to see you.
Good to see you again, Morten.
You have created something bigger this time, right?
Yes, we have.
So you have crawled out of the tiny space, right?
Yes, we're building 4-color systems or multicolor systems since quite a while, and then we built a small prototype, and then we thought maybe we can combine that and have a bigger prototype, or not a prototype, but a bigger machine that actually fulfills all the needs that a customer want, but gives him fully flexible solution to all flexibility, and also all the no boundaries on his existing processes. And that is basically what we did, and what we show here on the show is a complete integrated solution that can go on a conventional press.
Let's talk about that in a second, but before we start talking about the usage of the machine. So what I see right now, I see some doors, there's some print heads inside it, there's some UV curing on it, and then you have the print coming out of the machine.
Yes.
And let's talk a little bit about what's inside it first, right?
Yeah, we can do that. That's no problem. So, in general, we have a base frame that we built since several years, and we have encoder rolls on both sides. So we are detecting our own print speed. We have 4-color print setup. We have automatic cleaning. We have final curing, LED final curing. We have pinning, interstation pinning in between all the stations. We have a print mark detection. So all in all, the whole setup, with only that relatively small space, has everything that is needed for a complete and in-register print.
When I saw it, and we spoke about it maybe just half an hour ago, something like that, I think that one of the first things I said to you is that this looks like a hybrid module to a non-hybrid Flexopress, and you said yes, exactly
indeed,
the market you go for, right? So just for people to understand this, so basically you have built a 4-color digital press that can be mounted on top of a Flexo machine.
Yes,
and
indeed.
Even better is that you have made the paper path so it doesn't actually take away any of the conventional print units.
Correct.
Right?
So what happens is the normal Flexo machines that are in the market, they always have 2 guide rollers for the turning bar or for any kind of material that comes from the rail system. And we are using these turning bars, and we're feeding out the web. We are then printing fully digital, and we are feeding back the web at the same spot. So you're not losing any kind of Flexo stations that you already have in the machine. We're just adding basically a 4-color setup that sits on top of the machine. And that basically will allow the customer to use any kind of old machinery and make it a hybrid machine.
And of course, the reason why people should use a hybrid machine instead of having a pure digital machine is, I mean, you can have cheaper Flexo print for the, let's say, the static areas.
Yes.
It could be for the white, for example.
Yes.
But it could also be that you basically take this for even simple applications with just barcodes and variable data. But you can also, as you can see here, make like full 4-color printed jobs. And you can see you have done it with good examples of 4 different jobs just aligned with each other.
Yes.
Right?
So in general, that's all about what you said is completely true. So you can combine it with screen printing in the front, with Flexo in the front. You can also combine it with, let's say, a matte varnish in the back that sometimes you need when you're printing Flexo, or you can also directly die cut in your Flexopress, which is normal. Flexopress has also die cutting station, and then you have all the combination possibilities, and you can also choose how many stations you want to print in front and in the back. Because of the web path, we have different sections, so we can either go out before the digital print station and feed it back in the front, or we can feed it out in the back and then go back, print, and go right back in the machine again. So you have the full flexibility, and because we don't have any access limitations here, you can also run the Flexopress as it is.
Yeah.
So you
You
actually
simply bypass it if
yes,
you like. Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
You're actually only adding the new digital feature to it, and you can run your jobs either like you've run them before, or you can easily and quickly decide, oh, that job, it's only a 4-color job, and it's a small job, so I run that job digital, and the next time the same job comes and it's a larger volume, I say, oh, I run that job Flexo this time. So you get all the flexibility, because also the tooling and everything that you have already on a Flexopress, you don't
It
need
keeps
to have
working,
an
of course,
additional machinery
Yeah,
for
yeah,
it.
yeah. So the advantage of having a unit like this and you add it to your existing Flexo line is obviously that you get a hybrid machine without investing in an entirely new hybrid machine.
Yes.
Is there any limitations in, let's say, I mean, of course you need to have like one control surface for the analog and one control surface for the digital, right? How difficult is that to integrate?
So we have a very easy to operate HMI anyway. So I would say it's really not a big effort to learn how the system operates and how to do digital jobs. Of course, you need to have a little bit of different prepress because you're not running on spot colors, you're running on a 4-color set. But if you have that all set up, it's not a big deal. You can easily decide whether you run on analog or in digital. And to be honest, if you have a skilled Flexo printer, for them running one of these machines is a no-brainer.
And the paper path seems very simple, because I take that when you have Flexo presses, it's always like every time you add something to it, if it complexes the paper path, people can like, maybe not so easy. But here it seems both the tension and the easy way of integrating seems very easy, right?
Yes, yeah. We have, as said, we have everything that we need to generate our own speed signal, to generate our own print start signal.
Okay, so that basically means that you're not depending on the Flexopress when it comes to that kind of alignment. Okay.
And that's very important
It
because
is, because otherwise you would have misalignment, right? Yeah.
yes, indeed, misalignment is one thing, but the other thing is that if we would need to interact with the main machine, then we would have limitations, because then if you think of older machines where you don't have a wiring diagram anymore, where you don't know exactly how this whole system was set up, where to get the signals out, we could not install. And that's why we said we will have that system completely independent. Of course, you should connect the safety circuit and stuff. That's for sure, yeah. But all the rest we generate by ourselves, because that is the key of installing on all different kind of platforms, because we don't care what kind of machinery it is.
So the market you're addressing is all the wonderful Flexo presses out there who really wish they were like born as hybrid machines, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's key of the system as such, and to give an added value to the customer, even when they have only a smaller Flexopress. Just imagine you have, let's say, a 6-color Flexopress, and now comes a job that requires 7 colors or 6 colors plus a matte varnish, and you cannot run it on the Flexopress. So you have, I don't know, 2, 3 spot colors and a 4-color set on the Flexopress, and now you have a 4-color set digital. You will have additional Flexo stations that you can use for the additional colors, so you don't have to neglect that order or buy a new press or something like that. So it adds a lot of value for the customer.
The last question I have is, if you look at, I mean, obviously you know the price of a technology like this, but if you have an old press and a customer comes to MPrint and say, I would like to buy such a thing here, how, I mean, because you can have a very old machine, but then of course the machine itself can be obsolete because of all the mechanics and all those kinds of things. What is the spot for, what types of machine age-wise is this good to look into?
We don't do limitations on the age, to be honest. There are old machines that are still running good. I think the installation
sorry to interrupt. I was just thinking that if you, let's say, have a 20-year-old machine, for example, right? It can run fine, but it has a shorter life expectancy than a 15 years machine. And I mean, you have to put this machine into that perspective, saying that, okay, if I invest X amount of euros in this machine, it can last for 5 years or 10 years or whatever.
Yeah,
it is, right?
normally a digital machinery is we calculate, well, the customers calculate with a lifespan between 5 and 10 years, something around that. We have machinery that is
Older than that.
older
or-
than that,
Yeah, yeah.
obviously. But the installation on the oldest machine we have done, not a 4-color system, but a 1-color system, was on a 35-year-old press, which is a pretty old press, but the press works perfectly fine.
Fantastic.
And sometimes the old mechanics are even better than the new machines with all the fancy stuff.
You shouldn't say that, right?
But it is like it is, you know. And then you can add something completely new and fresh, and yeah, a new technology also to an old machinery.
And what is the name of this technology?
That's the machine is called a 4C Compact.
4C Compact.
Yes.
Okay, sounds almost like a car, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Morten.